So this talk is going to be on heart-brain balance and especially what's called heart coherence. And after I'm done with giving you some tidbits, if you will, um, we'll actually do about a 15-minute heart coherence meditation. So I hope you will enjoy that. So much of the ills of the world, especially in these current times, seem to be due to an imbalance, both individually and collectively. And the source of all, the divine and nature, Mother Nature, Gaia, they're always seeking and working towards this thing called balance and harmony. And within our current state of the world, most what's most important is not really being allowed today, and that's being in our heart and being more loving and caring both to ourselves and each other. And it seems that when we avoid the heart, we create a lot more depression and anxiety within ourselves. And it definitely impacts our sense of happiness and self-confidence. And so over the centuries, little by little, it seems we become much more in our head, in our logic thinking state, at the expense and the avoidance of our emotional and heart and feeling state. And so in these current times, the heart and the brain are very much out of balance and very much out of coherence. I'm going to read a quote from A Course in Miracles. There is a silence into which the world cannot intrude. There is an ancient peace you carry in your heart and have not lost. There is a sense of holiness in the thought that there is no sin and that it has never touched you. All this today you will remember. A Course in Miracles, Lesson 164. The birth of Yeshua and the many masters who have walked the earth, both before Yeshua and after. Hamid Bey, Gandhi, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, and so on. They had an understanding of the importance in living from the heart. And throughout many of these masters' lives, especially Yeshua, he lived and taught with an open and loving heart. And there's many images of Yeshua that depict him with an open heart. It's like his chest is exposed or he's holding his heart. And that was the indication of the importance of being more heart-centered. And what's most important about his life and his ministry and his teachings, despite all the hardship that he endured and the ridicule and rejection he endured, he never let it get to his heart. And he never let any of that really define him. And he always accepted the physical and emotional pain. But in that, like I said, he would never really seem to be defined by it, at least not for very long. And that's what happens when we live more of a heart-centered life. We don't take life so personally, and we're able to absorb the hits a little bit more with more grace and ease. And there's usually more of a sense of resilience when you're more heart-centered versus being more in your head and ego self. Energetically, and we are fields of energy after all, The heart is 60 times stronger and larger than the magnetic field of our brain. And the brain is for sure a piece of work and a marvel. But the heart is so much more of a marvel and a miracle. And the heart is the first organ that's actually formed in the fetus. And the heart actually starts to beat in the fetus before our brain is totally formed. And one of the things we've discovered over the years, especially there's a organization called Heart Math that has been doing incredible research on the heart. And we know now that there's actually three brains in the human system. We have the brain in our head, and the heart is another brain, and then there's the brain in our gut. They all have their own set of neurons. But the brain in the heart is the most significant and important and has the most electromagnetic energy. And it's ironic that in the chakra system, that the seven main chakras, the heart is the balance between the three earthly chakras and the three heavenly chakras. Gratitude is a big way, and appreciation, they're big ways, important ways of being more heart-centered. And I like to think of gratitude as like the vitamin for the soul and the spark to the human heart. And in an interesting passage, the greatest commandment that God gave in the Bible, he said, love the Lord God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. I find it ironic that he started that passage with the heart. Love your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. The distance between our head and our heart is approximately 14 inches. And so this thing of higher consciousness, greater inner peace and freedom, we only have to go 14 inches. When we go from our head to our heart, that's all you really have to travel is from that 14 inches. And so the key is, can I allow my heart to be the master and my mind to be the servant? Many people are conditioned and programmed to live the other way around. They allow the ego mind to be the master and the heart to be the servant. And about 7 or 8 years ago, the medical community finally had come up with a diagnosis called the sad or broken heart syndrome. And what that is, it's an emotional heart attack that happens on the emotional level, not so much the physical. And so when we've walled off our heart because of traumas and stuff, and we become very cold and hardened in the heart, you make yourself more susceptible to what they would call an emotional heart attack. There was a cardiac surgeon a number of years ago. He was performing open heart surgery on a patient, and he literally, because the person's heart was so hardened emotionally, there was this big wall around their heart. He literally had a really hard time penetrating the cavity of the heart with his scalpel. He had never seen anything like that in terms of how difficult it was to actually cut through the lining of the heart. So life's love, or life's light, is love. And when the heart is open, the light of love is lit. And it's rising like a flame, illuminating all the beauty and the goodness within us and all that we encounter. But if the heart is more cold and hardened and there's a wall around it to protect myself emotionally and physically, I'm going to kind of be like Scrooge. And we all know that story of what happened to his heart over the course of time because of the griefs and the loss and the such. And so there are many people walking around today all over the planet with a very wounded and hardened heart. And it comes out as anger, resentment, depression, anxiety, violence, and such. Heart coherence is a pathway to remembering and living the love we are. And the research shows that when we're more in a heart-centered, heart-coherent state, there's much more of a positive rhythm of the heart rate. And we know now that the communication is going more from the heart to the head, much more from the head to the heart. And so when the heart is more in steady rhythm and balance, it will offer the brain more constructive and positive information, and the brain will follow that accordingly. If the heart is more out of rhythm and balance, it will give more disruptive impulses and information to the brain, and the brain will follow that as well. So the heart is actually the true brains of the human system, not the other way around, as many people would think. And this exercise that we're going to do, this meditation is intended, I'm going to guide you into the words we're going to use is appreciation, gratitude, compassion, and care. I'm not going to use the word love. And the reason for this is, believe it or not, those other words, you can't really get too distorted with those words. But the word love can take people to different places, especially if, let's say 2 years ago or 2 days ago, I just lost the love of my life, or I broke up with someone, or someone just hit me and I got into an auto accident. So there's moments where unfortunately we fall in and out of love. And so they suggest in this type of meditation not to use that specific word per se, even though what we're doing is a very loving act to ourselves and what we will offer to humanity. So I'm going to guide you. We're going to start with just getting more centered in our own heart. And then we'll take that out to the group ourselves. And then we'll take it out to the community. We'll take it out to our state, and we'll take it across our country. And ultimately, we'll take that heart coherence to the world. And Alan, if we could, I'd like you, if we could put everybody back on so we can see each other. And not so much, I'm just make me one of the boxes. Yeah. Because part of this, I'm going to ask you to just, in a part of it, from your heart to other people in the group, to just send that love, that compassion and acceptance and such to each other in the group. Okay. And when we do this, just allow, just trust. The most difficult part in this meditation actually is the receiving of that appreciation and that gratitude and compassion. So just be open in both the giving and receiving. Notice how you feel right now versus how you might feel 10, 15 minutes from now. Any questions? Okay. And as best you can, try to make this an experience, not so much a chore. Just kind of trust and allow it to happen. So get yourself comfortable and just close your eyes. And then just open your eyes gently. And then just gently close once more your eyes. And just begin to focus on your breath. The breathing in through your nose and the gentle letting go through your lips. And just relax your jaw muscles and your lips so that the air can freely flow out. The breathing in and the letting go as you breathe out. And just begin to let go of the worries and the stress of the day. Let go of the cold. Let go of all the snow, even though the snow is very beautiful in some respects, but just let go of your day and just be with the breath right now, the breathing in and the letting go with each breath out. And as you start to get more relaxed, I'd like you to just take your focus and your awareness and your breath and just begin to focus on your heart. And just give praise and gratitude for the wonders and the miracle of your heart. And how every day, 24/7, it's automatically doing what it does. Just beating and sending that life force, blood, and oxygen throughout all parts of your body to nourish and feed the body of that loving blood and precious blood and oxygen. And how it automatically knows what to do moment by moment, day after day. So just in this moment, just give gratitude and appreciation for the wonders and the miracle of your heart. And realize within that blood that's circulating throughout your body is full of plasma. And we know now that plasma is a wonderful source of information and consciousness. And that plasma is starting from the depths of your heart and going all through your body. And research is saying that 99.9% of the universe is plasma. And plasma is part of what's known as the adamantine particle, which is the God particle. It is the basis of the universe. Everything derives from this particle, as Yeshua has explained. And plasma is part of that particle. And you are part of that particle. And the heart is the main source of that consciousness and information. So begin to just have more gratitude and appreciation and compassion for the miracles and the wonders of your own individual heart. And focus on gratitude, appreciation, compassion, and care. Gratitude, appreciation, compassion, and care to the depths of your heart. And now I'd like you to take your focus and your attention from your heart and begin to send that gratitude and appreciation and compassion and care for the members of this group tonight that you know are on the screen. And so from your heart to theirs, with no expectations, no conditions, just give freely from your heart to theirs that appreciation and gratitude, compassion and care. And as you're giving, allow for the receiving, allow the other group members to offer you that appreciation and gratitude and compassion and care. And so be open with not just the giving, but more importantly, be feel worthy and deserving of receiving. And sometimes this can create a little bit of emotions. That's okay. Just be present with it. But don't resist the receiving, heart to heart. So in the giving of the gratitude, appreciation, compassion, and care, allow yourself to receive, feeling totally worthy of the receiving as you're giving. And so just feed it out from your heart to the people in this group right now. Gratitude, appreciation, compassion, and care. And just notice how you feel. No judgment. Just be the observer. And stay with that giving and that receiving, heart to heart, soul to soul. Gratitude, appreciation, compassion, and care. And now extend these thoughts and this energy to our greater community in Grand Rapids, Wyoming area, surrounding areas. Just begin to send it out a little further. Your heart to theirs. No conditions, no ifs, ands, or buts. Just let it flow out from your heart. Gratitude, appreciation, compassion, and care. Send it to the homeless right now, struggling with the cold. Send it to the patients in hospitals. Send it to those that might have lost a loved one recently. Doesn't matter if you know them or not, just send it out there. Heart to heart, soul to soul. Gratitude, appreciation, compassion, and care. And now extend it further out to the state of Michigan. And just freely send it out, knowing that you're having impact right now, energetically. Something wonderful is happening from your heart to theirs. And then send it out to the United States as a whole. Even where Lori lives in North Carolina, just send it out. There's no boundaries, there's no borders on the energetic highway. Gratitude, appreciation, compassion, and care. Send it to those people in California struggling with the wildfires. Just let them know right now, your heart to theirs. Gratitude, appreciation, compassion, and care. And send it wherever in our country right now where you feel individually, where you feel you'd like it to go more specifically. You choose in this moment. Within the 50 states, send it all around, but is there anywhere in particular you would like to individually send it? Your heart to their heart, your soul to theirs. There's no right or wrong. It just is. when you're in the heart. And then extend this energy of compassion and gratitude and appreciation and care. Send it out to the entire world. There are no limitations energetically. Just send it with no conditions, no strings, knowing it's having an impact. And then freely send it out to the cosmos. The wonders and the mystery and the beauty of the cosmos. How you are that cosmos and the cosmos is you. You are that star and that star is you. There is no separation. So just send it out to the cosmos. Gratitude, appreciation, compassion, and care. As it sends the same to you as well. Heart to heart, soul to soul, energy to energy. Gratitude, appreciation, and care. And just notice in this present moment how you feel now versus maybe 15 minutes ago or so. Is there more of a sense of inner peace and connection, not just with yourself, but with humanity and the cosmos in general? And is there more of a sense of inner peace and okayness right now? And if that be true for you, which I hope it is, you're sending much more positive and constructive waves and information to the brain, and the brain will respond in kind. That's what heart coherence can do for us. And you can do this simple exercise anytime you want, especially when you feel off centered and ungrounded. This is a powerful and compassionate way to get yourself back in line, so to speak, and back centered with the holiness and sacredness of your heart. And if you would, I'm going to count to 5 and slowly bring you back. And I'm going to count down from 5 to 1. And when we get to 1, then I'll just have you in your own time. You can slowly open your eyes. So 5, I feel more connected to my heart in this moment. 4, I acknowledge the importance of gratitude and appreciation and compassion and care, both toward myself and all that roams the earth. And 3, I choose to stay and be more heart coherence and heart brain balance as best I can, day in and day out. And 2, I give myself permission to do this meditation from time to time to bring me back into balance and harmony within my heart and brain. And 1. And when you're ready, just slowly open your eyes, wiggle your toes, your fingers. And just notice how you feel right now, especially with your eyes open. Does the world seem a little more tolerable and not so bad right now? And perhaps you're not so impacted by the cold weather right now, that your heart is like your internal furnace that's warming the night. So that's heart coherence, folks. It's pretty simple, but very effective and very powerful. And part of the higher consciousness, part of the ascension process for all of humanity around the earth is coming back to the heart and coming back into that balance of the heart and the brain. So thank you all.
Thank
Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Therese.
Thank you, David.
Yes. Are there any questions or any comments about the talk or the experience?
David, that was great. That was great, man. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you. I'm glad you're good to see you again.
You too.
Yep.
I just it reminded me of the heart. When I was a small child, went to a Catholic school called Sacred Heart, and my aunt had a picture of Yeshua on the wall, pointing to his heart.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm going like, man, what's that all about? You know, it was weird, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But
yep.
now it make more sense to me, man. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I picked up a book today that I have and have read and started to read it again, and it's The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And so much of what you said was in just those first few paragraphs of his book. Very powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Claudia. Yeah. Yep.
Let's see.
Do you notice a difference with how you feel now versus 15, 20 minutes ago? A little more mellow.
I don't know if you can hear me. I raised my hand.
Yep. Go ahead, Susan.
Yeah, go ahead, Marie.
Okay, I'm in Alaska, so I, started out from expanding, you know, from looking at all of us in an ocean, and that we're little particles in the ocean. We're love light in the ocean, and we're just breathing in and out as one. And my comment is, there's a saying that as within, so without, so above, so below, and everything. And we know what the outer conditions are, not only in our country, but in the world. And I'm thinking it's almost like we're experiencing all this so that we go in, since it's our love light that is creative and powerful. And so I kind of belong to a few groups that are doing meditations, global meditations, and it's because they're showing up now. And I feel like, yes, we have our work cut out for us, so to speak. But like you were saying, or I think Teresa was saying, the have the problems not be more than what the soul can handle and the spirit. And truthfully, they're not. I think they're all they're growing opportunities or evolving opportunities. And I don't have it figured out. I'm just as struggling as the next person and everything, but at least there's that awareness. And I was really grabbed to hear what you were going to say about heart and brain coherence. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Marie. And one of the things to just be aware, everything that's happening right now on the planet is all part of the process. Chaos is uncertain order. So within chaos, what seems like chaos, what seems like destruction, order is coming from it in due time. It's like the fires in California, destructive as that is, in due time, it will rebuild. Nature will come back stronger and more vibrant than ever. And that's the balance. Whenever there's chaos, order is soon to follow. And so part of this, we just have to play this out because humanity, for ever since our existence on the planet, there's been struggle and progress, struggle and progress. And all this struggle and what we're doing right now is helping us to be more loving, more caring, more compassionate, more appreciative of what we do have. And the key is focus on the solution, not the pollution. And one of the ways of the solutions is to be more compassionate and forgiving and grateful and things of that order. And it's coming. It's coming. It's my understanding that we've got about 2 more years of this, but by the end of this year, you will begin to see significant awakening.
Wow.
And that momentum will not be stopped. Even though certain powers are trying to stop it and stifle it, it's my understanding by fall or close to the end of this year, we'll have met the tipping point, and the light will begin to overcome more fully the darkness and the shadow aspects. And it's groups like this, they're happening all over the world. True? And us light workers, us woo-woos, more and more people are going to start to knock on our door and say, you know something, help me out. Okay. Ever since COVID hit, I realized why I had been studying the cycles and such, because ever since COVID, I've been helping people understand what's going on and why. And they're starting to ask more, which is good. Because we were being shaken up to waking up. And we were learning to go from normal back to natural. And so ever since COVID, that was another pivotal tipping point. And that's happened in humanity, okay? Don't get caught up in the division, because that's been the demise of every civilization is division. Okay, so don't get caught up in that. And the planets are aligning right now. We've got the outer planets of Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus. They're in alignment right now, and it's all about transformation, and it's all about letting go of what no longer serves you, individually and collectively. And on the 25th, when is that? Friday of this coming
Saturday.
week? Yeah, Saturday. What is there? 6 planets that are going to be in alignment. So the cosmos is saying, come on, folks, hop on board here. We want you to get this.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I've got a friend out in California. A phrase that he has used quite often is that it's all for our highest and best good. And when you truly accept the teaching that according to our faith is it done unto us, when we choose to believe and expect that everything is working out for a positive intention, it's amazing how often you find that positive intention either in the middle of, as David says, the chaos, or as a result of the chaos.
yeah. Beautiful. Thank you, Ellen. And one of the things I've been encouraging people more and more, okay? To me, the serenity prayer, you can use that for anything, but if you really pick apart the 3 different parts of the prayer and you look at the divine attributes of power, love, and wisdom, okay? So the first line of the serenity prayer, God grant me the serenity, the peace to accept the things I cannot change. That's your true power in acceptance. Because acceptance is a forward moving energy. What I resist will persist. What I accept, I begin to rise above and move forward from. The second line of the prayer says the courage to change what I can. The only person I can change and control is who? This one. That's love. I love myself enough, and I have the courage to change from the inside out rather than the ego wants everybody else to change and accommodate me. The key is, am I willing to change from the inside out and adapt and adjust myself to deal with life as it hands me? And then the third part of the prayer says the wisdom to know the difference. So that ability to discern, and that's the wisdom. To know what I have to accept and just, it is what it is. As Paul McCartney would say, let it be. And the understanding that this is what I can do, this is what I am in charge of, and this is what I can control. So that serenity prayer, and you can use it for anything, to me is very vital. And I don't know how many of you have read the book, The Celestine Prophecy.
Oh, yeah.
Several of the insights are really coming to bear right now, especially there's 6 in particular of the 10 and 12 insights. There's 6 of them that are really coming to a head right now.
Were they written 30 years ago?
Yeah.
20 years ago?
Yeah. It was a masterpiece. And it was one of those books that at the time, it didn't seem to fit so much, but it was a prophecy. And here we are. So if you have the book, I would encourage reread it. I'm actually Teresa and I are doing a workshop this Thursday night as well, too. We're doing it all on resilience and what it takes to really work through these insane times. And one of the things I've been highlighting with a lot of people is check out these main 6 insights. And Alan, if you want, I could send you those 6, and if you want to give it to the rest of the group, just to. And right now, that 26-year cycle, there's 3 main cycles going on within the grander cycle, and one of them is the cycle of aggression. And the magnetic field on the Earth is weak right now, and so when the magnetic field on the Earth is weak, we become more aggressive. When the magnetic field is stronger, we become more cooperative. And we're at its weakest point now, so it won't be too much longer before the magnetic field starts ramping up again.
David, one of the things I've heard recently that resonated with me is that as light workers, when we work on our spirits and work, in a soulful way, we become the ballast for this ship that is listing. And to look at it that way, it's not that we're rising above it, we're actually anchoring it through our spirits.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah.
And that's the key. Like this exercise, you all did your part. And that's the key, is when we keep doing that, like Jesus said, whenever there's 2 or more in my name, miracles happen, wonderful things happen. So, and that's what's more and more people are gravitating towards this and seeing the power and the force of it in a very positive and healthy and harmonious way. So, and the more we can keep doing our part and don't get too caught up on needing immediate gratification, just realize you're planting seeds. Okay.
So Marie raised her hand. Go ahead, Marie. Go ahead and ask your question.
Well, I'm just reflecting. First of all, I think it was back in 1986. There was this person who started a world healing meditation, and the purpose was to create a critical mass of pro-peace thinking, and that critical mass then tips the consciousness towards the peace. I always love to see out signs of maybe this is now, because I'm told that this time in human history has not been, there's been cycles and whatnot, but this is really, really, just off the charts, I guess is not a very good way to put it, but we do have the internet. I'm here part of your group in Alaska. And, that means we have the means. We've got the support, we got the help. We have it from the celestial level and, the cosmic level. And we are all part of that. So it's touching us. And it really, it feels very gratifying. However, I do have to admit to my, I don't know, my ego or personality gets in the way, and I kind of I'll kind of get wobbly. I feel like I don't have a life jacket on in that boat so much, and so this energizes me. In terms of heart expansion, it just feels so much like now is the time. They say be the change you want to see in the world. That's, Gandhi. We're doing it. We, and in the Aquarian age, that's what I understand. It's not top down. It's people, it's lateral, we consciousness essence are creating the so-called, the fifth dimension or age of Aquarius of, the world that we want to see, the love and light guided existence. And I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I found it pretty darn interesting that Martin Luther King Day is the same day that there was the inauguration. That I see there's some real balancing going on there. Thank you.
Yeah, good points, Marie. Yeah. We're getting there. And I think what you were referring to in 1986 was the harmonic conversion. And the interesting thing about that was there wasn't really so much the internet, but a lot of people were drawn to show up at these events and they had no reason why. They just knew they had to go. And that was another time where the energies were ripe. And in the Mayan calendar of the 7 days and 6 nights, that harmonic conversion was the beginning of going from the 6th night to the 7th day. So that was a very critical time in our evolution. And there was no accident in terms of how people showed up the way they did, even though there wasn't much means to communicate. But somehow they just knew that they had to be somewhere at that particular day and time. Or that weekend is actually what it was.
Yeah.
But, so, yeah.
Okay, great. Any other comments or questions?
I just have a quick question. David, are you still on Eagle Drive, Suite 107?
Yeah.
Eagle Park Drive? Okay, great. I wasn't able to, I was running late and couldn't remember my husband's PayPal. So I'll put a note in the mail to you with the love offering. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Very good.
thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And wonderful
Okay.
questions. And thank you all for the invite and your participation. Thank you.
And I just
And always thank you for sharing your wisdom, David and Therese. It was wonderful. It was a beautiful night. It's something we all need to work on. More
I
here.
have to add that I had to back down because the cat completely, absolutely, positively enjoyed our meditation. More so that she had melt into my lap. So
Oh, how cool.
to feel the energy and it was very cool to see how she just melted. So thank you for that.
Excellent.
Yeah,
All right,
thank you,
well,
David.
Thank you, everyone.
It's nice to be with you all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.